what options there are in the industry for artists. Is it fashion? Is it writing? Is it visual arts, photography? All these are careers which were not talked about in a previous generation. Yeah. And yet when you look at the market right now, everything is designed by someone.
Hey everybody, my name is Angie Murenga. You're watching Just Angie. It's Lifestyle Thursday, and I've been having an amazing conversation with Mwangi of Best Collective around artists and the art scene and the art world in this country, nation and continent. And once when I was having a conversation with you, Eric, you mentioned something that I want us to talk about. You said if we were to go to an institution of learning, maybe higher learning, I guess, and want to study art, that we are very behind, or we're not on the cutting edge of what is happening in the world of artists and in the art world, if I could call it that. And I'd really like you to weigh into that, because somebody has to reset that so that our children are competitive. They have to be competitive, because otherwise we're not equipping them. They'll just go to school, but they cannot compete in a global world, because I'm sure there's art and technology and things are changing. So just weigh into that, please.
Great. Thank you so much for bringing that up, Pastor Angie. It's a critical issue that needs to be looked at, which is really education and training. And it's not something that is unique to the arts. I believe that the foundation of any effective generation is really based on the training that they get. That's where you get engineers in Japan, in Europe, at the level where they are because of the training. The same with the medicine and all the other fields. So when it comes to the arts, when we look at the curriculum that is being taught right now, it was okay for a time. But times are moving faster than the curriculum is changing. It's not to say that it's completely useless or it's bad. No, I'm not saying that. But we are saying that it can move with times, embracing the current times and looking at the future. So when you look at training for visual artists, what does that look like? When we look at the curriculum that is being taught, we feel it can be better. And complaining about it is not going to help. So one of the key visions that we have for the collective is to really transition it into a training and eventually an institution of visual arts. Because we want to really shape the future starting from that generation. And we are talking about even as low as high school children. I was just talking to a friend of mine yesterday, and we actually said that we want to start a program for training in high school, where we talk to children who have an artistic gift of any kind, and actually tell them what options there are in the industry for artists. Is it fashion? Is it writing? Is it visual arts, photography? All these are careers which were not talked about in a previous generation. And yet when you look at the market right now, everything is designed by someone. The seat we are sitting on has been designed by someone. The clothes, the food, the music, everything is art. But why aren't we focusing as much as we should on art? Why are we not encouraging the children that have an artistic gift to pursue that with a passion? You know, Proverbs 18 tells us that your gift will make room for you and bring you before kings. Not your gifts, your gift. Which means it's something very specific that God has given you. So if you can identify that this child has an artistic gift, and we start nurturing that at an early age, then we can be able to compete at a world level in every kind of art, including fashion, engineering, product design, all of that. So when I look at art, I don't look at it as just painting or what we call kuchora. You know, what we call, our parents used to ask us, bado unachora? Ujaenda kusoma, why are you still just drawing instead of doing your homework? But it goes beyond the art that as we know it, and just goes into encompass making things very well and creative thinking as well, which is problem solving. All of that is art, and we need to train it. And as Best Collective, we want to immediately get into it. As soon as the protocols for COVID allow it, we'll start visiting some schools and just to see what we can do, what we can talk to them about. Yes.
Because I think also in our world, and especially I think in this African continent, even Kenya, I think still when you say you want to do art, nobody thinks you're serious. But I can imagine the frustration of wanting to do something, feeling it's your purpose, it's bubbling up inside of you, and people are just putting it down. Every time you try to raise your head, they're like, no, you know. So I think it's important because you'll be able to find those children who this is their expression. I mean, Yegonizer is my favorite artist, you know.
Yes.
So that's amazing. I would never have met him if it wasn't for you at Best Collective, isn't it?
Yes.
I still haven't met him, but I met his art. So I met him through his
you
art.
met him, yes.
So I would never have been able to experience that if you hadn't done that. And so I think it's important. It's important to catch them when they are young, and also I think the Visual Arts Center will be very good because you can do all sorts of things, and you can teach them and train them on how the world is moving in terms of art, and everybody can pick up their gift. Because these guys are selling their paintings, and they're good. And even with the Art of Living, the paintings sold. That was very amazing.
Yes.
They actually sold, and I loved that. And I'm just thinking, as I will let you weigh, but I'm just thinking, I think what excites me about what you do with Best Collective is that if every other Kenyan or Ugandan or Tanzanian or somebody would pick up people, I don't know how many artists do you have?
Right now, including myself, we have 7.
7. You imagine, I was going to say even 10. So you've picked 7 artists, but you've given them a platform.
Yes.
That's just it.
Yes.
That's community. You've taken 7 people. He wasn't selling his paintings. I know he was selling them, but he hadn't sold them to the people who you met at the Art of Living. Yeah. There's photographs. Yes. There's this is yours, and then there's you told me now even you're doing actual photos,
Printing, yes.
printing of actual photos. I mean, imagine all that coming together. So these 7 people, because I think artists are exclusive in a way, them they're painting, them they're producing the art, them they're taking the photographs, but they didn't know what to do with it next. But here you are, you've come together as a collective, and you're presenting this on your platform, and people get to engage it, they get to buy it, they get to know who these people are, and that's powerful. And that's only 7 people. So if all of us took some initiative and just took an interest with who's around us, then I think we'd have a really powerful world. Even forget about continent, it would be a very powerful world, because it also helps to take your mind, take your eyes off yourself and focus on somebody else and say, if I'm having this problem, there are another 10 people with this problem.
Yes.
How do I help them? How do we come together? It's not even help them. How do we come together and make this work for us?
Yeah, that's true. That's very true. You see, each of these artists has their own career. They've invested a lot of years and expertise in perfecting their craft. So they're established in their own right. And they were selling through their own channels. But what happens is that when we come together, we multiply the reach that we have. Yes, I can continue to operate as Eric, and Yegonizer can continue, Mutai, everyone can do that. But once we come together, there's something else that is birthed there. There's a synergy that really accelerates things. And we saw that even at the show, because what happens, art is very, it's very hard to define, because everybody, you either like it or you don't. So it could be a very beautiful painting, but someone looks at it and they don't like it, but they like something else. So when we have different styles and different expressions of art, then when someone comes, they can't live without seeing something that they like, because we have abstracts, we have portraits, we have photographs, we have big paintings, small ones, different materials, watercolors, all these things. So what we do is that we vary what is the offering. Because the point is to try and make art accessible to the markets. And when we come together as many artists, then we have a better chance of achieving a lot more than we would individually. That was one of the foundations of starting the collective. And it has actually worked, because there's people who came to see Yegonizer's work but ended up buying someone else's work. Someone else came, and we find that, someone else came to buy furniture but ended up buying art. So you see, it becomes now a whole lifestyle kind of a thing, which is again at the heart of what we're trying to do, making art accessible to the average person, average collector, and to make people stop fearing art, thinking that it's very expensive or inaccessible. Yes.
Affordable.
Yeah, it is affordable, and well, as a group, we are finding that we are doing a lot more. And if, like you mentioned, if all artists come together, there's no competition really, there's more than enough. Even here in Kenya, there are many other collectives still operating, but with different objectives and different ideologies, but there's space for everyone. So if every African nation comes together and really merges the artists, under one umbrella and one unified vision, we can go a lot further. And the world is waiting for our art, I believe. Yes, it's different. It has something different from European or Asian or American art. Yes, so that's what we're striving for.
And you know, one of the things that I attended a conference where Bishop T.D. Jakes was here in Kenya, and what I loved about it, he said that we want your art, we want your food, we want your spices, we want your clothing, but I'm not living with it from here. I thought that was so amazing. He said, I'm going to pack it in my suitcase and never ever. I wanted to arrive where I am. So when I heard about this, I was like, yeah, that's one of the answered things, because, and it's not only just art, Eric. We can do that around business.
Yes.
We can do that around governance. We can do that about family. There's nothing we cannot do. Education. We can do that around everything, you know?
True.
And I'm a dreamer. So me, I'm dreaming that this is going to become the reality of many other people, even that we have sufficiently motivated people through this Lifestyle Thursday segment to go and do something different, to go and put together people and achieve something greater.
Yes.
I think for a greater cause. Yeah. Any closing statements?
Yes, I would just like to speak to anyone out there wondering how I want some art, how would I get it, what art should I buy? I just want to say to you that art that we hang on our walls is like the music and the clothes that you wear. Don't be passive about it. Don't just hang something for the sake of hanging it. In this day and age, you have to look for art that is aligned with your spirit, aligned with your beliefs, aligned with God. You know that there's music that you can play and it really does not work with you, and yet some other music you play and it feels that it really works. So there's art for all of that. For anything that in your space, in your office, be intentional.
About what art
Take charge of the space that you're in, the living space you spend half of your day in the office. Make sure that what is hanging there makes sense to you. Art is not just about pretty things on the wall. You can actually take an image that is a projection of your vision or something that you're looking forward to, a prophetic word that was spoken over you. Have it commissioned as a painting and hang it on your wall. Every time you look at it, you'll remember that God, yes, there's something there for me. If you're called, for example, into agriculture, you can have a nice picture of a farm in Kitale. If you're called into children ministry, you can have a nice painting of children playing. Only you know what it means. People will see a painting, but to you it speaks something else. Don't hang a picture of a polar bear or something that is not connected to you in any way. It's your wall. Take charge of it. Don't be passive. And if you need any help, reach out to us. We will help you. There's art for any budget. Don't feel intimidated. We have paintings from as 1,000 shillings all the way to 1,000,000 shillings. So there's something for everyone, and it's all good quality. So buy stuff that is actually Kenyan made or that will benefit an artist in Kenya. Not there's an influx of a lot of reproduced art from Asia. And the one thing, sorry, I know we're running out of time, but one thing that which is very uncanny, that Zoom got us a glimpse into people's homes. When you're in a call, and I would spend half the call looking at people's walls, and I realized that there's a lot of reproduced art which doesn't really mean much. And that really bothered me, and I was like, this is a potential client. That is a sale which has been taken from a Kenyan artist. So rather than have all that art, which I call it empty calories, have something better, something that is meaningful to you and that has actually benefited someone in the country. When you buy a painting here, you've actually built the economy. It sounds generic, but it's actually true. And at the same time, you get something that is really personalized, that is yours, and that you can be that inspires you even in the morning. At the end of the day, art is very spiritual. It should make you happy. It should inspire you. It should elevate you. It shouldn't just be something hanging on your wall. Yes.
And art is very spiritual.
Art is very spiritual,
art
yes.
Art is extremely spiritual.
We think of music and reading as spiritual, that we know, but we don't consider that visual art is the same way. It's somebody's creativity transcending through them onto a canvas. And if it doesn't resonate with you, then you shouldn't have it in your home. So find out, even if it's an artist, find out more about the artist. What do they believe in? What is it that they do? If it's a photographer, why did he take that? Find out, and all these artists are more accessible now than ever. you can go on Instagram and
so
just
true.
DM an artist,
It's
and
true.
they'll quickly respond.
They'll respond.
Yes, the same thing with go to their websites, go to their social media pages, call them up, the numbers are there. Say, my name is so and so, and I saw your painting on Instagram, and I'd like to hear more about it. Many artists will gladly share about it, and you find something that you get something that is meaningful. And that is how you see art being handed over from generation to generation, because the original purchase was something that was very intentional. And you find that that painting has been a blessing to many generations, and not just something that you throw out when you move out, or you live in the house and go get something else when you move. Yeah, so be intentional with what you hang in your walls. If you need help, reach out to us. We are there.
Okay.
Thank you so
and
much.
If somebody, thank you so much. If somebody wants to join the Best Collective, they can contact you.
Yes.
And then we'll take it from there. But it has to be people with serious values, excellence, integrity. We're not playing. Yeah,
Yes.
this is serious business.
Yes.
Yeah. So thank you so much, Eric. It's been so amazing talking to you.
Amazing. Thank you for having me.
Yeah. Please greet your amazing wife, Sandra, and
Yes.
your beautiful children.
I will.
I really love them. I met them once and we got to hang out, and that was nice.
Yes. They told me to say hello.
Thank you.
So at least I've passed the
Nimeambiwa
message.
salam,
Umepokea.
salam. Umepokea kabisa.
Yes. And
Yeah.
thank you so much for having me over. It has been a blessing.
Amen.
Amen.
Thank you. Keep going.
Thank you.
God bless. See you guys soon. Buy the art, like I said. Buy the art and do something with other people that will elevate them and bless them and encourage each other and support each other. God bless. Bye-bye.